GLP-1 medications like Ozempic and Wegovy, they are being called game changers for weight loss and diabetes, of course. Finally, it seems like there's an easy button for weight loss where it doesn't seem like you have to change anything, just take this drug and the weight will come off. However, if you take the drug on its own, there are serious side effects, especially when you take them long term, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Hey, I'm Vanessa. I lost over 80 pounds through diet and exercise, and now I help others do the same. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the long term side effects and warnings that maybe people aren't telling you about if you are considering going on a semaglutide, better known as a GLP-1, or better yet as Ozempic or Wegovy. There are some other brands out there as well. On a side note, I personally don't really promote people take this drug. I believe in the traditional diet and exercise method for weight loss. We want to make sure that we have strong muscles and strong bones and have a healthy relationship with food. And I believe that you attain that through small, sustainable changes to your habits. I did a little research and I just wanted to share what I found in regards to two major side effects, long-term side effects that some people discover after taking this drug. And I think that they're very, very important. So GLP-1s, they mimic a hormone that your body naturally produces after you eat. They help keep your blood sugar low. They help slow down how fast food is absorbed in your body. They send signals to your brain that you're full. Basically, they help you feel satisfied with way less food. We often chatted about side effects are constipation, bloating, nausea, fatigue, headaches. Most people, they can manage these side effects and have success by taking this drug. Success being measured as the number on the scale, but not necessarily what you're losing, what that number is actually reflecting. Is it reflecting fat loss or is it reflecting muscle and bone density loss? So studies show that up to 40% of the weight loss on GLP-1s may come from lean muscle, not just fat. This equates to nearly 20 years worth of age-related muscle loss over 1 year. That's a problem. Losing muscle, it can slow down your metabolism, it can increase your risk of injury, and it can make it harder to maintain your results long term. It's not just about the number on the scale, it's about what your body is actually made of. So there was a study done earlier this year, and it found that semaglutide users lost more weight than people who weren't on it, but these people also experienced lean muscle loss, especially in older women and participants with low protein intake. According to Very Well Health, older adults on drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy, they face higher risks of muscle mass loss, decreased strength, and increased fall and fracture risk, particularly without sufficient protein and resistance exercise. Think of muscle like the foundation of a house. Losing fat is like taking down the curtains or repainting the walls. It's cosmetic. But losing muscle, that's like knocking out the support beams. Your strength, your posture, your metabolism, that all depends on the foundation, your foundation staying solid. Okay, now we're going to talk about your bone density. So bone density can also decline, which increases your risk of fractures over time, especially if you're older or sedentary or you're under eating key ingredients like calcium, vitamin D, and protein. Here's why that matters. Our bones are living tissues and they are constantly breaking down and rebuilding. But when you're losing weight too quickly, especially without enough resistance training or nutrition support, your body may not rebuild that bone fast enough. Over time, that can lead to weaker bones, reduced mobility, and a higher risk of fractures from something as simple as a slip. Our bones are like the scaffolding of a building. They quietly support everything we do, standing, walking, lifting. But if that scaffolding gets stripped down too fast, without reinforcement, the whole structure becomes fragile. And just like muscle, bone loss isn't always obvious until it becomes a problem. This is why it's critical to pair GLP-1 with strength training and nutrient-dense meals that support your muscles and your bones. Now, here's something that really surprised me. Multiple meta-analysis and reviews show that it's not the GLP-1 drug itself that causes bone loss. It's often rapid weight loss without enough mechanical reinforcement. Basically, rapid weight loss when you're not doing it properly, when you're not working out, and when you're not eating properly. When GLP-1s are paired with exercise, you may actually spare bone mass and potentially even support turnover or regeneration. This shocked me, and I was like, are you sure? Let me just double check here. In a clinical study, researchers found that people who use GLP-1s along with resistance training actually preserved more bone density than people who just followed a diet and exercise regime alone. I thought the diet and exercise group would have been the gold standard, right? But in this case, they still lost bone while the GLP-1 exercise group didn't. So why? I will tell you. All participants in the study started on an 800 calorie per day meal replacement plan for 8 weeks. Yes, only 800 calories. That's not a calorie deficit in my world, that's starvation. I would never recommend something so low to one of my clients. So after the first 8 weeks of this experiment, where they were just having shakes, liquids, they returned to normal food with dietitian guidance, but it wasn't a surprise because the extreme calorie restriction likely caused nutrient deficiencies, right? So they're only eating at 800 calories. They're not going to be getting enough protein, enough calcium, enough vitamin D to keep their bones healthy. Meanwhile, the GLP-1 group that also trained, they didn't just lose more weight, they also maintained bone density. And that's likely because the medication actually has some protective effects when combined with strength training. I know that it has some anti-inflammatory effects and also some anabolic effects. So the take home from these studies is if you're using a GLP-1, exercise isn't optional, it's essential. Without it, you risk faster bone loss than diet or medication alone. So if you look at the study, you have group 1 who they are on the semaglutide only. You have group 2 who are doing diet and exercise without the semaglutide. Then you have group 3 who's doing exercise plus the semaglutide. You will see that there was not a significant bone mineral density loss in the GLP-1 plus exercise group, which astounded me. In the GLP-1 only group, they had the most significant bone mineral density loss. And then in the exercise and diet, they did have a slighter amount of bone density loss. And that all has to do with their diet. They were only eating 800 calories in this study, not enough calories to get enough protein that you need, to get the vitamin D that you need, to get the calcium that you need through whole foods. So basically, if you're taking GLP-1, you're going to be less hungry. And so what you eat really matters. So your focus should be high protein, a good amount of fiber, low sugar, and an overall nutrient dense meals throughout your day. So think about high quality proteins like eggs and fish and chicken. Legumes are great for you. You can do chickpeas or lentils, some healthy carbs mixed in there like rye bread or sweet potato or wild rice. Avocado is wonderful. High protein Greek yogurt with berries makes for a great snack. I will put a sample meal plan in the description below for you to download and follow if you are doing a GLP-1. Make sure you're protecting your muscle while you're losing fat. So you need to hit your protein goals and you'll have to calculate that out. You want to have about 1 gram of protein per pound of goal weight. So if your goal weight is 150 pounds, you'll want to be eating around 150 grams of protein. I mean, that's an easy way to calc it. There are other ways to calc it, but that's one of the easiest ways. You're going to want to do resistance training, so lifting weights or banded workouts 2 to 3 times per week to keep your muscles strong, to keep your bones strong. And just skip the processed junk food. I mean, when you're on GLP-1 and you're eating minimal calories, every bite counts. I hope you found this video informative and maybe it'll help you make a decision as to whether or not you want to take GLP-1. If you like this video, subscribe, like it, and there's more to come in the future.